Hello. What is up? It seems like I have finally actually managed to get things in somewhat working order. I had to adjust a lot of things in OBS because it updated on me, and actually it was like several updates at once. So I had to fix a bunch of my presets, and that's why a lot of things were acting really funky. So it should run better. The video quality is going to be bad, but the audio quality is also going to be bad. Um, but it's actually going to run, is the actual lesson in all of this. And really, after Friday, that's all that we actually really want. So it's actually going to somewhat work and not be like wicked behind. So think we got a couple other people that we're waiting on, but let's do this. Get some feelers out. Love making jams. Oh, here's one. There we go. Perfect. Have I finished the community center yet? I have not. I need a large white egg and I need wool. I need, oh god, a bunch of different things. Ugh, I need to go get seeds. That's the thing that I neglected to do the other day because I was too busy just talking shit. So let's go actually get some seeds and set up the farm to make it a real, actual, like, human farm. Closed on Wednesday. Mother, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, I knew that. I know that he's closed on Wednesdays. I'm very upset that he's closed this specific Wednesday. Because I need seeds because I, like, basically did nothing last spring. So. Alright. I'll do Gus's omelet because I've got hella chickens. Alrighty. My hope is that things actually like the bit rate's not going to be great, but it shouldn't buffer. Is the biggest thing today. Yeah, I had to go in and basically like my OBS was running on like an insane bit rate, so I had to tone it down because my PC isn't exactly a workhorse like that. So we're just gonna see how this goes. My hope is that it doesn't absolutely explode. And I probably won't be on for too long just because it took me a while to get on. So we'll probably go until probably the top of the hour, and then we will move on. But I hope everyone's doing good. The other day was so fun, talking about the upcoming pay-per-view. And Collision hadn't happened yet, I think, so probably going to have a lot of opinions about that. I'm very interested to see a lot of this stuff going on, especially the like stuff that they're doing with Chris Statlander and the Death Riders. I don't really know what the direction's gonna be with that. I'm very curious as to what they're actually gonna do because it seems like they're not gonna recruit her because she's definitely staying, it looks like face, right? But it keeps being a point that they keep like showing up in all of her segments. So I don't know. Maybe like that last interaction is the last one that we get, and they're like, you know, just sort of pushing her into her next storyline, sort of like what they did with I think it was Death Riders and Private Party, and then like they had that one big fight with them, and then that was supposed to push Private Party to be like, you know, stronger and more badass, and then we didn't see Private Party again for like months. I'm wondering if that's what they're doing here, is they're just sort of using Death Riders to usher like Chris into the next part of her story. That's what I'm thinking that they're doing, because at this point it doesn't look like they're going to recruit her at all. It looks like they're probably just going to pair her up with Harley, which I love, don't get me wrong. I think that's going to be pretty dope, but we shall see. I'm so good at fishing in this game. Not to brag. I'm just really bad at fishing in real life, so this makes me feel like maybe I'm not actually that bad at fishing. I went fishing with a friend once, and that didn't go really well. I almost hooked myself in the back like several times, and I almost got my friend in the eye more than once. So yeah, not really great at fishing. Da, 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 ba, da, ba, ba, ba. I saw that at Collision, and I honestly didn't pay a ton of attention to the actual match, but Ace Austin showed up, and I don't have a lot of experience with Ace Austin. Don't really know too much about him, but one of my friends really likes him, and they think he's pretty cool. So I don't know. I'm willing to give him a chance. He looks like, I don't know. He's sort of a weird. His presence on the card going against Ricochet was very weird to me. Like, as someone like sort of just debuting, because I would have thought that he was showing up to be part of Forbidden Door on the New Japan side, but from what it looks like, he's signed with AEW. So like, this isn't a cross promotion thing. He's just with AEW, which is interesting. I've heard a lot of people talking online about how AEW is taking a lot of New Japan's like top talent. So like when AEW got Okada and then Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher, like a lot of their talent is now in AEW. That like things are starting to be a little brutal for New Japan. I saw a lot of complaints about the G1. I haven't really followed it a lot, but people aren't really very happy with the booking. So I'm hoping that Forbidden Door will help a little bit with that. I can't imagine that things aren't tense right now. Especially because I think Ace Austin was a New Japan guy. And that's like another guy who's now over in AEW. So, you know. Don't know. We'll see. Gotta fiddle with something. Okay. Hush little kitten. This is my cat. I love him. I forgot what I named him. I can hear my son crying at the door. Poor sweet boy. What he wants to do is he wants to come in and eat 2 mouthfuls of food and then run away. And I simply can't allow him to do that. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Let me go actually take care of this kid because he is throwing a fit. I'll be right back. I know, bud. Sorry, that was my son who was not very happy that the door was closed, even though there's absolutely nothing in this room that he could ever possibly want. He wants the option to be able to come in here. What is the organization in this chest? Not totally sure what I did there. But we're going to do one of these. Ooh, there's some unused barrels now. Let me get this going on. You made it. Hello. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm just puttering around. Just chatting about Forbidden Door coming up and how Collision was last week. Or not last week, literally yesterday. I'm so not used to Collision's schedule, and I don't think anyone's used to Collision's schedule. Because to say that it has a schedule is very generous. It just kind of gets moved around so much. I personally really like when Collision is on Saturdays because it's a nice spacing out of wrestling. I do wish though that it got Friday's spot. I wish it had Rampage's old spot, not the 10 p.m. spot, but the other spot. Yes, we're very excited for Forbidden Door. We had a whole discussion yesterday about how random the lights out steel cage match is, with all the people who are actually going to be in it. Oh, I didn't let my animals out. Oh, I'm so sorry, kids. Well, they were all inside today. But yeah, about how very random the actual card is because you have so many things going on at once. You've got Kenny and Ibushi going on with the Young Bucks in there, and then you have the whole Death Riders thing with Darby and Osprey, and it seems like just a weird group of people to put together, and everyone on the other team is barely cleared. And not to say that Gabe Kidd is cleared, I'm actually not 100% sure that he is. I vaguely remember hearing wasn't it last week or the week before that he was actually super injured and had to take time off, and now he's in this lights out steel cage match, so not sure. And that's also true. People who are in different time zones when it's on Saturday can wake up on Sunday to still watch it. I think I just miss I don't know, because I wish it was on more consistently on Saturday. Because, and, I guess they can't really control it. But when it's on, sometimes it's on Thursday, sometimes it's on Friday, or sometimes Collision is on at, weird hours. You really have to catch it in the broadcast to make sure that, man, I don't like that text box that pops up. Oh. Yeah. Anyway, it is true that, if you're actually able to, catch it on Sunday, it's still nice. But I wish they had a more consistent Saturday schedule. All right, Binks, do you want to say hi to people? Let's see if Binks will talk for the mic. Binks, say hello. Binks, say hello. You were literally just so loud, and now you're not going to say anything? All you like to do is scream, but now when you're on camera, no? Okay, fine. Get down. Bink says he doesn't like any of you and that you all smell. It's his words, it's not mine. Let's get some of this. I'm going to take us into the desert today, I think, since it's raining here. And I actually know what I'm going to do is I'm going to get seeds. I need to get seeds because I completely forgot to last time because we were too busy talking about Forbidden Door. Yeah, so Gabe exited early due to a knee injury. Osprey's back early. And the G1 is still actively going on, I think. I don't know. I'm so bad at keeping up with, the actual G1. But, yeah, basically everyone is injured. And then they're showing up for Forbidden Door. And everyone... I don't know. I saw a lot of conjecture online, actually, about Forbidden Door. And, some people are happy about it. Some people are not as happy about it. There's some, drama with Evil actually being part of, I think, the main event. I don't know. I think AEW probably had a hand in the weakening of New Japan over the past couple of years. Konosuke won. That, yeah. See, and that's, the other thing, too, right? Is that I was talking earlier about how AEW has taken so many of New Japan's, top talent that, it's... I don't know. It seems a little imbalanced. Where, don't get me wrong. I understand why a lot of the New Japan guys are going to AEW. But, when you have Forbidden Door and most of your top guys are now actually working for AEW, I can imagine it's a little bit awkward. And then having an AEW guy win the G1, it's very, I don't know, it's very peculiar to me. I'm wondering if... because it's weird too, right? It's AEW saying, hey, we're gonna try and help bolster New Japan by having one of our guys win the G1 and drawing audiences over to New Japan when AEW is kind of taking a lot of their audience. Although we did have I think it was Lex yesterday who basically switched to watching solely New Japan just because there's so much drama in the actual other fandoms. So who's to say? Not me. I don't know shit about fuck. I'm just here about to get my absolute ass handed to me in the desert caves. I hate these mummies, dude. These are oh my god, they're so annoying. And then they don't go away unless you blow them up. See, now he's back. It's a disingenuous behavior. Also, these are my little safety goggles. I very much like how I look. Also, for anyone just coming in, the quality of this stream is not going to be great. That's just because I had to mess with a lot of settings in my OBS to actually get it to consistently stream. And I may be able to change some of these settings in the future. This is just what I had to do to get it to actually connect and not buffer as bad as it was buffering the other day. So we're just like this for now. Come on, where's my little door? I don't want to be here anymore. These are my least favorite floors. Because we have those nasty little mummies right there. a stairwell. It's usually the rock that's like right beside the entrance too. No, get away from me. I don't want you here. Let me lead you to like a little rock or something. There we go. I would love if this mummy would like hop up off my nuts. The Mox Yuta situation, I have many thoughts about it. I think, especially after last night, right? Because Yuta, like, accidentally, first of all, the poetry of him giving Mox the Bisaiku ni by accident, poetry. Where is this stairwell, dude? Oh my god, it's right here. Uh, Yuta gave Mox the Bisaiku ni, like, mid-match, right? And I was like, oh shit, like, that's gonna be it. But then, of course, you know, he goes and he gets the pin and everything. I think they're really setting us up for Yuta turning very soon. I don't think it's going to happen at Forbidden Door unless Eddie shows up. But I think we're going to start to get the very beginnings of it very soon. Mostly because we saw Hangman like do that whole thing with Yuta, and like we didn't really see a lot of personality change in Yuta after his and Hangman's match, but we saw a lot of like narrative things going on. So for instance, like the whole Chris thing, like, you know, he's still acting the same as he was before with her, but, you know, Mox is like love bombing a lot more, and we've got like guys calling Yuta out and commentary going back to talking about how he's brainwashed. I can't help but feel that like we are getting a turn very, very soon. I think if Eddie comes back at Forbidden Door, and I don't think Eddie's wrestling at Forbidden Door. He said in the last his last YouTube video with Caesar that he's not ready to come back yet, like physically. I think he could definitely show up though, and I think if that happens, Yuta's turning very soon, very, very soon. And I think that that's why we're getting a lot more of Mox, like, you know, being affectionate, because, like, you know, we're going to get that strain coming on. I think it's going to be interesting when that happens, because I think it's, like, inevitable. What happens with Claudio, I think it would be very cool if instead of just basically, and I heard a dragon. I know a dragon's coming. I heard it off screen. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I'm really interested to see what direction they take when he actually does turn, because I think Claudio, it would make sense if he would then turn on Mox if Yuta leaves, because it seemed like a lot of Claudio being in the group, like, to begin with, hinged on, like, him convincing Yuta to join way back when. I think that would make a lot of sense. You know what I also noticed, and it's slightly off topic, but I was watching Revolution 2022 the other day, and I totally forgot, for like anyone who either doesn't know or doesn't remember, Revolution 2022 was when Mox and Bryan had their match where William Regal debuted. I, like, totally didn't even remember that so much of that match was Bryan choking Mox out, and knowing like how good of a storyteller Mox is, I wonder if he did that on purpose, or like if he did like the whole suffocation angle on purpose as like a callback to that, because he's mentioned that he likes doing callbacks, so I think that'd be pretty cool. I'm just very interested. I'm really hopeful that we get story progression soon with the Death Riders, because, like, I can't help but feel like a lot of this story has stagnated because they're waiting for, like, certain people to come back who they really want to be part of the story. Like, I feel like they waited a long time to do any progression because they were waiting for Darby to come back. And then I feel like now they're waiting for Eddie to come back. I think like the story got waylaid a lot, just for like injuries and everything, and I feel like that sort of hindered a lot of what's going on. Yeah, Claudio was pretty rough with him in the beginning, but I think that that's just because of like how BCC started. They started like leaning a lot more into the brotherhood of it all. Hey Lex, what's up? I was just talking about you and how we were all, basically just chatting about Forbidden Door the other day, and then because of that, I completely forgot to buy seeds for my farm. Yeah, and then like Claudio's back to like Claudio does like love bombing too. So I don't know if I don't know. I think it's like a toss up if Claudio goes with Yuta when Yuta inevitably turns. Also, sorry if you can hear Banks. He's like throwing an absolute tantrum today because I did have to close him in the room a whole bunch. No, Bubby. Nope, not what we're not gonna do. Hey, what we're not gonna do is that. He is like throwing such a fit right now. I know, I miss BCC so much. I miss like them being goofy. I am glad that they did something new because like they're all such good storytellers, and Yuta got a chance to like be the main character in this story. I do just like I miss it, and I know that they probably oh my god, I absolutely just died because I wasn't paying attention to my health bar. That's embarrassing. Well, hey, it wouldn't be this stream if I didn't die like literally in the middle of everything. Oh, and they didn't even take a lot of the important stuff that I had. Okay, that's fine. All right, let's get going. Did you see though, on that note, that Evil Uno just did I think it wound up being a 22-hour long live stream, or not live stream. It was a 22-hour long wrestling match for the Fighting Back charity. That was so cool. Like I got to like jump in and see part of that. I love what he's doing with mystery wrestling. I like highly recommend watching mystery wrestling. A lot of their matches are so fun, and he gets a lot of the AEW guys to come over to do commentary on it too. Like he gets Orange and John Silver over there a lot. So highly recommend that. But I miss him on the main roster. I miss seeing him like on TV in AEW, especially with like Hangman and all that. I hope that eventually they do bring them back into relevance when it comes to Hangman. So I was actually talking with my friend the other day about how it would be so cool. First of all, I think Dempsey would fit in really well with AEW. I feel like his wrestling style, probably influenced a lot by his dad, would fit in really well. And also, the only chance that we are getting Regal back in AEW is if Dempsey comes over, just because Regal left AEW for WWE to be with his son. But Dempsey would fit in really, really well. And I think it would be very funny if Dempsey comes back and teams with Yuta, and both of them have like this huge chip on their shoulder against Regal because he like kind of screwed both of them over in their respective promotions. And it would just be very funny to me to see like Regal come in and have like his son and his former protege like basically in a tag team just because they bonded over like hating him and how much he absolutely screwed them over. I think that would be very funny. Give me this pine sap. Oh my god, I forgot that I also have the farm with the monsters. Go away. Dude, you doing a bookbind for the live stream would be so cool. I'm wondering like how that would work. Like would you bookbind like the commentary, or you could probably also do something where like you take stills from the match. That would be really cool. I'm also very excited for the package to arrive. I check my front doorstep every day for it. I am very, very excited. For those of you who don't know, Solomosos bound one of the books that I wrote, and was so unbelievably kind enough to have sent me a copy of it. And yeah, they're very good. I don't know if you want to plug your Tumblr while you're here, but you absolutely can if you want to, so that people can go over and see all the cool shit you've done. They've gotten a shout out from Eddie Kingston on Eddie Kingston's Instagram, so not saying that they're a big deal, but you know, they're a big deal. So you should go over to their Tumblr and follow them. Dude, doing a transcript of a 22-hour live stream commentary is nuts. Good luck to you. Was the G1 climax actually good, Lex? Because we were just talking about how sort of strange it is that, like, on top of AEW taking a lot of New Japan's top talent, Konosuke won the G1, and he isn't really, like, a full-time New Japan guy. So there's some, like, talk about that. I'm just wondering, you know, was the, like, match itself good? Because Konosuke does put on a lot of really good matches. Like, that dude is absolutely insane. I feel like he's gonna be, like, a future Kota Ibushi. Because it was Konosuke versus... was it Evil, I think? Which, if that is the case, it makes sense how Konosuke won. No offense to Evil. Just, you know, he's getting up there in age. Alright, this time I'm actually going to let my animals out of their pens so that they can, like, graze. Yeah, Konosuke is at, like, just an absolute beast, dude. And I think he just got married to, oh god, and I don't remember her name, but he just got married, which is so cool. Imagine, like, getting married and then winning the G1 climax. Like, that's a pretty good start to your year, I think. Grabbing eggs, and I'm not going to sell them because I need to give them to Gus for his omelet. Alright, feast away, my little chickens. I've got stuff to get to people. Alright, I am going to sell that, and actually, I'm not going to sell the honey. I'm going to hoard that. I think I need that for something. Put it in this box here. Okay, won't even put it in that one. I'll put it in my inside chest. Doo-doo-doo. So I also realized, and I didn't realize it until Saturday, that the pay-per-view is, I mean, obviously we knew it's in London, right? But it then tracks that it starts at noon, and I am traveling back from a trip that Sunday. So I am very likely going to miss the first half of, probably about the first half of the show. Depending on if they meant it starts at 12, like the pre-show starts at 12, which I think, I don't actually know. I have to check that. But I'm probably going to miss the first half of it. So I won't be live blogging that one. Well, at least the first half. Which I'm fine with, because I think the Lights Out Steel Cage match happens last, because it's a Lights Out Steel Cage match. So I think that means that it has to be last, because that's when they're like, all right, show's over, we no longer sanction anything. So long as I can see that one, and so long as I can see Hangman and Max, which I'm guessing is going to be, I'm guessing they're going to do the 2-part main event thing, right? Where it's like Hangman and Max, and then, you know, whatever. Yeah, it's like, man, like usually it would be fine if it starts wicked early because, that means it starts at like noon, 1 o'clock ish, depending on where you are. But it is also like a lot of other people in other time zones are like, bro, I have to catch this like later. And then, it's like Monday when people usually have to work. Which is also why I really wish that they would do a lot more of their pay per views on Saturday. Because that is like, it doesn't matter when you have it on Saturday, because then, you can catch it easily the next day. But yeah, I'm probably going to miss the first half, which is going to suck. But um, I've got some people who are going to keep me up to date. And I don't think I'm going to miss any of the matches that I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, I don't know like why as a collective we all decided that like pay-per-views of any sport like typically take place on Sundays. It's like unless you start that at like 10 a.m., like, wherever you are, 10 a.m., like people are just going to be dead on their feet. And like I remember uh like I usually don't take Mondays off, so I like come into work the next day. I've been up since 1 o'clock in the morning watching a pay per view, and then you're just dog tired. I am excited for this upcoming Collision though in Glasgow, Scotland. I've spent some time in Glasgow, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, back in I feel like the 90s were kind of the time when all of that started, like pay-per-views starting on Sunday nights. It's just so brutal cuz it's like, yeah, like, kids have to go to school in the morning, people have to go to work, whatever. The 2-day events like bother me so much. I think like I don't think I was watching WWE when they switched to. I think I literally stopped watching maybe like the year before they started doing the 2-day events, which like I wouldn't have been able to watch it anyway because I'm not paying for two pay-per-views when it should be one. But um like the 2-day events, it's like, dude, you didn't need to do that. You fit everything perfectly well into one day, and you did. But nope. I also just feel like, I mean, it's pretty obviously a money grab, and like maybe it can be exciting for people to like, you can still watch a pay per view if you couldn't watch it, the other day, but it is what it is. Come on, open the saloon. Let me in. Let me in. I want to give you eggs. Maybe I can dig through the trash. You don't have anything. I think I'm trying. No, I'm trying to romance Elliot in this playthrough. Oh, I can go in now. I wonder if Gus will take duck eggs for his omelet. He will. Hell yeah. This is going to be a weird omelet. Weird, weird omelet, my guy. Yeah, the whole like counter programming thing is so. I don't know, man. It's so scummy. I don't get it. Like, you know, I mean, I get it from a business standpoint, right? Like, you don't want any competition because you want to be the only like reason people watch wrestling. But like going by that logic, WWE's absolute worst years happened when they had no competition and like people just stopped watching anyway, and I think what AEW has done is pointed out to people like, hey, there are other wrestling promotions even if AEW goes away, which I don't think it will, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people will probably go to New Japan like Lex did. Cuz it's like, you know. But then the whole like back to the counter programming thing, it's like, I don't know, man. This is people's livelihoods. It bothers me. It's like, it just feels very petty. Like, I also wouldn't like it if AEW was doing, um, like, if AEW was, like, actively counter programming, I also wouldn't like that because it's like, dude, like, why try and, like, fuck with people's livelihoods when, like, we should want more pro wrestling in the world? And I know it is literally a business thing. Like, as a business, you want to be the only people offering a product, but, like, you know. I actually don't think I've ever had a duck egg in my life. Maybe if I can find a duck egg, then I will try and make an omelet with it. I know. At least, like, there's still CMLL, though, right? Like, you know, you've got CMLL. You've got, I think there are other, like, much smaller promotions, but, you know. I hope WWE doesn't, like, absolutely tank CMLL, but I feel like they've not been making very smart choices with it so far, that they have not instilled a lot of faith in me that AAA is actually gonna, you know, survive what was, I believe, a petty buyout. I don't think WWE actually cares about Mexican wrestling. I think they bought it because they thought AEW was going to buy CMLL. Exactly. Like, there's AEW and WWE are so vastly different that, like, they are not competition for each other. Like, first of all, they're not competition because they happen on completely different days. And they're not competition because it's like people who like AEW weren't going to watch WWE anyway because it's not the kind of wrestling they like watching. It's like saying that McDonald's shouldn't like, I don't know, what's a completely different, like, fast food place? Like Sweet Green. I don't know if you guys have Sweet Green, but like Subway, because they want to be the only one, and they think that people who, you know, choose that over them are their direct competition and are taking business away from them. And it's like, dog, you weren't getting that business in the first place. Also, yeah, wrestlers being able just to like switch companies, because first of all, when they switch companies, they negotiate higher paychecks. Um, and like, it has been said by like a lot of people that when AEW came around, it pushed up the salaries of a lot of wrestlers, because that's what happens is when you have more companies, you know, you want like the top guys, and when you can now negotiate your salary between two companies, that's, you know, that just means higher pay for wrestlers in general. Um, so, you know, I have no problem with wrestlers jumping between companies with a couple, you know, exceptions. Like Cody jumping between companies was one thing, you know. Some other guys jumping for various reasons, you know. Actually, I'm curious. Are you guys like? Because I have heard very diverse opinions on this. Would you want Karrion Kross in AEW now that he is out of WWE or not? Because I have heard arguments for both sides, and I know what I think, but I am very curious as to what other people want. Like, do you think Karrion Kross would fit in well? Do you think it would be a good idea to take another WWE guy? Yeah, that is a lot of the opinion that I'm seeing too. Is like, people, it's not even like him as a wrestler. A lot of people have issues with his attitude, especially his attitude in leaving WWE. Like, kind of saying like he was a hot shot, or he was like, you know, denied having, you know, the limelight that he felt he deserved. he was, he was the worst part of his highest rated match. That is rough. And I think Tony Khan said a while ago that they're being very picky about the guys that they bring back over into WWE, because they've had issues in the past where WWE guys come in and, they know of professional wrestling one way, but, AEW is a lot different, where their focus is more on building up their younger talent instead of, like, having matches with top guys, nostalgia acts. And I think that's also a really good point, too, is that he would be completely lost because AEW has such a big roster, and while a lot of that roster buffs up a lot of Ring of Honor, there's so many guys that they don't use who are so good. But, like, I think they are guilty of a lot of the time signing guys just for the shock factor of it, or just to be like, oh, look, we've got this guy now. And they'll have him for, like, a week or two, and then they just kind of fade into the background. Like, people absolutely get lost in the shuffle, who I think if they were given actual time, like, would have had, a lot better, a much better run if they were in a smaller roster. Yeah, and that's the other thing is that, like, a lot of people are saying you have to be able to hang with the roster, and it's no longer anyone coming in, can basically, work their way up really fast. You have to, like, fight, because AEW built up a lot of their younger guys. So even their mid card is, like, phenomenal. Like, Ricochet is on their mid card, and when Ricochet is on the mid card, like, that is a very difficult mid card to try and live up to. I kind of want to put on my little excavator shirt now. Let's change outfits real quick. Alright, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter stream just because I had to fix a lot of the stream issues on the front end. So I'm probably going to do one more day, and then I'm going to call it. But let's get another day in. I need to buy seeds, and I need to actually make the farm look like a farm now. So, let's work on that. Yeah, Anthony Bowens is, like, really good. He's in his Crash Out era, which I love a Crash Out era. I'm always nervous, though, when an AEW wrestler enters their solo era, which is what I think Anthony Bowens is about to do. Because if you don't constantly push airtime on them, it's like, they get lost. And then people are like, oh, well, they weren't cut out to be, like, a solo act. And it's like, well, no, they probably just needed a little bit more support. But I think Bowens, like, absolutely can make it as a solo act. And if he can't, I hope, he goes to, somewhere where, he can really make it big. I don't think WWE would take him, just with the climate right now, but yeah, Random Dynamite episode is, like, the gold standard. Like, it's so good that, like, it's just difficult to beat. I think especially nowadays, and honest to God, I think the thing that has made the past few Dynamites really good is that they have gone back to blending the types of wrestling that they're showing. Because before, for, like, a long period of time there, it was a lot of, like, really heavy episodes, like, really drama heavy, like, a lot going on, very tense. And now they're, like, reinserting a lot of comedy that I feel like endeared AEW to people in the first place. Oh, I have to wait until 9 for it to open. Why? Let me get seeds. It's the 6th, and I haven't planted anything in my garden. But yeah, I feel like adding the comedy wrestling in really improves their show in such an Why did you have an eel in your trash can? I'm whatever. He had an eel in his trash can. Whatever. Absolutely agree. I think Willow and Nyla need to have... Nyla, I feel like, is probably close to retiring, just from what I get from her social media. Nyla needs at least one more title run. I don't care what title it is. if it's the, I think the women have the AEW Women's Championship and the TBS Championship. I'd be happy with her having either one of those. I think Willow needs to be women's champion though. I think like Mercedes taking that title off of her was such a big misstep, and I think really didn't start Mercedes out on a very good foot with a lot of people. But 100% agree. I think Nyla and Willow need another title run. I actually haven't seen Willow in a while, and I don't know if it's because they just don't have airtime for her or if she's injured. I don't think she's injured. All right. Oh, what are the gold star? I need certain gold star vegetables. Parsnips and melons. Okay. Let's buy some parsnips. Also, yeah, like I love that we've got a guy running wrestling who like actually just genuinely likes wrestling and isn't a wrestler himself, because then he has to actually listen to the wrestlers and listen to what they want to do. See, my whole thing with Mercedes though is I feel like she has potential. She just really needs to get that like the, and I don't even want to call it the WWE rust off of her because that feels a little pointed, but like she's got to change up her promos and fit more of the AEW style before I'll start liking her. I do want Nyla to come back. I really want Sunny Kiss to come back too. Sunny was awesome. All right, now where do I want to actually make... I'll probably plant my farm, like the crops part down here. It won't be that big because I'm banking on getting that greenhouse soon. And the greenhouse is probably where I'm going to put most of my crops. But in order to do that, I actually need to finish the quality crop bundle. So yeah, I miss Sunny. Sunny did such cool things. I also miss hi Banks. I know. I don't know if you guys can hear Banks. He's singing for you now. He doesn't think you're nasty and stinky anymore. Come here. Say hi to people. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Oh, he thinks you're stinky again. I'm sorry. If you weren't so smelly, I mean, maybe he'd like saying hi to you. Binks is 100% on site, alright? Yeah, Mercedes really is like... I'm glad that she has the success that she has, especially after how she exited from WWE. But she's got so much to work on. Like, promos especially. I think she's a good person, but like, man, she really needs to work on like promos. It is like difficult listening to her talk to the point where sometimes I'll literally like mute my stream just because I like cannot listen to her give a promo. It's so overacted. All right, where's my... There we go, quality fertilizer. Boop. Let's get these turnips. I'm actually glad the stream really isn't like buffering today. Like the quality of it isn't great, but like it's actually running, which is, you know, a nice change of pace from how it was last time. So yeah, I was at an 8,000 bit rate, and my bit rate's supposed to be at like 6,000. So the computer was really chugging along. Now, Parker Bordeaux. Don't hate me for this, but I don't think I recognize that name. Was he like an early AEW guy? Or is Parker Bordeaux like another ring name and I would recognize him by something else? Come on now, let's... I guess the rest of the seeds are gonna have to go in here. Oh no, they won't all fit in here. Alright, well, never mind. I'm just gonna make another box. Do I have another one? No. Alright, I'll make one. I think it's this in stone to make a box. It's just wood. Okay. Alright, the seeds. They will go in here. Alright, and let's toss this eel. Goodbye, eel. Oh, I forgot to let my animals out again. Gosh darn it. Coming out. Trustbusters group and Swervy Boys Mogul. Oh, he was part of Mogul Affiliates. Oh, was he the like big guy? Like almost kind of looked like Brock Lesnar but wasn't. Or am I thinking of a different guy? I might be thinking of a different guy. Okay. I already milked them, so let's go to Gus's. Yes, okay, so I do remember him now. I just didn't know him by his name. He was another guy where I was really surprised where like he was introduced and I was like, okay, this is a guy who like looks visually interesting, looks like he could be a really cool guy, but like then nothing really ever happened. Like, you know, they took them away from Swerve, which made sense because Swerve had a lot going on. Yeah, man, listen, I love Dempsey. I want Dempsey in AEW so bad. I feel like he'd be used so well in AEW, just like on the basis of like he has that wrestling style that is so popular in AEW. And I'm assuming it's probably because of his dad, right? But like, oh, it'd be so cool. It is very jarring, like, because he looks so much like young Regal, whenever he talks and I hear the American accent, it always throws me for a loop because I'm like, I expect him to be English. Binks, I know, buddy. What if we stopped causing havoc? So the funny thing is, after, I wasn't, like, actually super excited for the Tony Athena match. Like, I thought it was gonna be fun, right? But I wasn't, like, you know, champing at the bit for it. After Collision, I feel like, Athena gave such a good promo that it actually made me, like, pretty excited for their match. I think it's gonna be really, really good. Yo, Dempsey wrestled in Bloodsport? Yo, I actually did not know that. I have to go and watch that. I had no idea that he wrestled in Bloodsport. I also saw, I saw that Natalia has wrestled in Bloodsport, and I was like, that is, like, the last person I ever expected to see. See, like, that's the thing, is he's a really good wrestler. He just, like, doesn't get I don't know, he doesn't really get his flowers. And I think he's just sort of, like, in progress right now. Just hate watch. Maybe one day I do a live stream where we just like watch the worst wrestling matches like on earth. I think that would be very fun. You know what sucks is I would have been such a big Natalia fan, but like Total Divas completely ruined her for me. And like I know that like Total Divas it completely oh, by the way, this is our plant. This is the stream's like communal plant. We love him. Actually, I'm gonna move him a little bit. I'm gonna move him next to the water. This is our plant. But yeah, like I don't know, just her character in Total Divas made me be like, man, I really don't like this person. And then like as I got older, I was like, actually, she's kind of like a really good wrestler. It was very sad when they let go of Abaddon. I mean, they haven't really used them for like anything. So I'm guessing they cut them loose just to like let Abaddon actually go somewhere where maybe they'll be used. But Abaddon was another example of such a cool character and the way AEW just fumbled them. Like Abaddon could have been in Julia Hart's faction and fit in so easily, especially with what they're doing now with like the Circle of Evil. Like imagine Abaddon and Thekla or Tekla, I think is how you pronounce her name, in a faction together. That would be so cool. I should actually probably put a scarecrow here. What do I need for a scarecrow? Coal and wood. Oh, actually, you know what I'll do? I'll just move this guy. Boop, 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 boop. And I'll put him right here. Oh, now it's uneven. Okay, hold on. I think I just heard a car crash. I'll go out and check that out in a second. Yeah, I like Dempsey is just sort of like the guy who will take the fall, sort of. I wonder like how long his contract is with WWE. I just like, and it's not even like a like I don't like one company over the other. I think he would genuinely be so good in AEW. I actually also think, and like Lex, you are like a lot more knowledgeable about New Japan. I think that Dempsey would do really well in New Japan. Like I feel like him going there would be a really good next step for him, like being someone's young boy there. Worst rated pay-per-view. Dustin Rhodes wrestling a guy on a truck filled with hay bales. Dude, if you look up, and this is no hate to Dustin Rhodes. I am a huge Dustin Rhodes fan. I love that guy. If you look at the absolute worst matches in like WWE history, he is in most of them. And it's just because I think he's the only guy who would hear some of these like outlandish match ideas and like go along with it. I think I don't know enough about Thekla yet to make a judgment call on her because I didn't see her in New Japan yet. But yeah, Dempsey would do so good as like make him the young boy for like one of the New Japan guys, and like he would get so good so fast. I feel like he would be incredible in Japan. All right. So it is getting late where I am. So I think I am going to cut the stream here. I'm hoping that I can get back on at some point this next week. But I am going to be a little bit busy with some things. But if you want to keep up to date, I always post on Tumblr whenever I'm about to get on live. I don't really have a schedule just yet, but I usually post it on my Tumblr. So I am going to jump out. Tumblr name is on the chat. Oh, okay, cool. Perfect. Then I will look for you. Um, but yeah, so I'm going to jump off now. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. And I'm hoping to jump online at least like very shortly after Forbidden Door, so that we can have like a whole stream where we just talk about what happened. So, um, good night. Have a good one. Head to bed if you need to, if you're in one of those time zones. But yeah, I see you guys later. Bye.